333 is continuously showing up in your energy. This could just be like big confirmation for you opening up, but this is a symbol of major growth that's happening in your life. It's definitely coming with growing pains or a level of discomfort. I'll go ahead and read it for you. This is something that you've been prepared for, okay? Your chance to reach your highest potentials is here. Perseverance has gotten you to where it is that you are. You have been through so much, and this guidance is here to show you that you're exactly where you need to be. Now, 3, what is it? It's a triad number. This represents 1, the masculine, right? The physical application that you take to align your actions accordingly with the 2. The 2 is the soul, the non-physical aspect of yourself. It's the intentions that you had before incarnating into this realm and how well you're living out those intentions. And I'm hearing seeing through what those intentions are. 3 is mastering creation. You've mastered the way that you're reinforcing certain thoughts into the system, and you're able to kind of overcome your mind. You can become greater than your fear. You can become greater than, I'm hearing, being paralyzed to certain versions of yourself. Okay, this is where your fear has potentially held you back in the past. It's led to some kind of inaction that has also had a consequence, and the consequence is being tied to resonant realities that have limited your full potential or have compromised what your soul's initial objectives were before incarnating into this realm. And the message I was receiving is, this is something that your non-physical 2 aspect has incarnated into, and your physical vessel has inherited and adopted many ancestral belief systems. And I'm hearing those belief systems are limiting systems. And you're a limitless being who has chosen to accept this crystallized debris for the pure purpose of being able to transmute and alchemize this way of being through your physical embodiment. Now, what does that mean? It means that you are choosing to consciously reshape yourself. I'm hearing remold yourself and remember yourself as infinite potential. And that's something that has lain dormant in your ancestral bloodline up until now. You are actually consciously creating and shaping your destiny, remembering yourself as the architect of that, not just for yourself, but also for those who have come before you and for those who will come after. You are the one that leaves a mark in the historical timeline, and that's why you don't look like that's why you don't look like those around you. You are mirroring a different example, a higher example, and your ancestors are actually ascending through your own journey because you're applying ascended ways of viewing this existence, ascended ways of thinking about your existence. And I'm hearing even your relationship to fear, because you realize fear is really of the unknown, but your full potential lies on the other side of things that you have not done before. So I'm seeing your Dharma being activated right now. Your Dharma is the rapid unfoldment of your life path that I'm hearing happens very fluidly and effortlessly as you're living in harmony and in accordance with what your objectives and intentions were before, again, this incarnation, which is to experience limits, just to realize and remember yourself as limitless, right? We're experiencing contrast and soul growth through that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you. Now, 333 is also a gateway code, right? It's known as the Trinity. Okay, so again, mastery over matter, because you've now mastered your mind, you've mastered your emotional state, right? You're thinking about this existence in ascended frameworks. You're viewing this existence through, higher frameworks of existence. You're feeling about this in a different way. You're relating to your emotional journey on Earth in a different way, in a higher way, right? And that's changing your, I'm hearing, relationship to yourself when it comes to seeing yourself as a creator, okay? Seeing yourself as a creator. And you're answering the Spirit's calling right now to live in harmony and in resonance with the highest expression of yourself and what that looks like. So yeah, this is about soul aligning with the true calling. Now, I have a very, very interesting astral message that I was seeing a few days ago, and there are some collective messages that I begin to observe in the astral plane from a higher aerial perspective, and I'm able to see the full landscape of space and time and the events that await in the unknown that the human is not currently aware of. So these are events that are yet to unfold in your life in a linear fashion. And I don't usually go into the scene and interrupt the soul's process as they kind of look at this Akashic record, which is the interconnected database of every single version of yourself, expression of yourself that has, and is ever existing simultaneously, and all these different parallel lives that are playing out. It's infinite potential, infinite realities, right? The version of yourself that said yes to this thing, that said no to this thing, the version of yourself that is here receiving this transmission that I'm sending out into the quantum field, and the version of yourself that has chosen to not click on this message, to not have a world line collision with being at this very particular time and space, in this very particular space and time, yet you have found yourself here. And it's not by coincidence, it's by alignment. So there is a way that you're aligning yourself, right? And there is a way that you had been aligning yourself, consciously or unconsciously. And your life has been a reflection of everything that you have or have not done, every decision that you had made or had chosen to, I'm hearing, leave up to chance, okay? So there is a new, I'm hearing, way of moving through this existence that you're applying very, very consciously. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I saw in the astral realm. So I saw this girl, and she was an athlete at heart. However, she had chosen to kind of settle in a job that essentially was a lot to do with like the nursing system. It was a lot to do with the medical industry, but it was kind of draining her, and she decided that she didn't want to work there any longer. And there was a study done on infinite timelines and the multidimensional field. She saw herself receiving a PhD. She saw herself in this job that felt, kind of familiar. It felt like it was the safe thing to do. However, it left her feeling unfulfilled, right? She, I'm hearing, had external success, okay, when it comes to the matrix of this construct of this matrix, but it didn't feel like it was success on a soul level for her. It left her feeling like there was something, I'm hearing, void, right? There was something that was waiting to be filled, I'm hearing, with love. So this is about love for the soul's journey, sometimes requiring you to make irreversible decisions. Anyway, she was in a dark room while everyone else was applying, and in that moment she decided to forge a new path, right? She was met with a critical junction. Now, I don't usually interrupt the soul's process when I'm viewing these kind of collective scenes, but I did enter energetically, and this is the voice within you, right, that says, if you don't want to go that way, it's fine, but you better go full time as an athlete, right? Because she was an athlete at heart. I told her, you better follow your passion. And this is the octave of yourself existing at a high level of understanding that tells you, in the unknown, in that vulnerable stage in your life, which I'm hearing are things still downloading into a third dimensional experience, lies your full potential. Now, I'm seeing like the black light card, which talks about dark, unknown energy. And that's an essence of, there's so much more to be discovered, but it requires you to see life through the lens of the soul, okay? So this feels like a treasure that is waiting to be uncovered by you, but it's not going to be doing the things that you've always done, okay? I'm hearing all the way that you've always done things. So she represents either a part of you or a soul mirror that represents the athlete at heart. Well, if we decode that, it represents someone that thrives in movement, embodiment, right? A level of kind of discipline and devotion. And it represents embodied living, right? And the soul's vitality that really begins to become nourished because you're supporting your movement in the physical realm with the desires of the soul, okay? And you're moving with that desire, knowing that it already exists within you, okay? And this is about repetitive, even like labor or service systems that are being used up by structures that don't honor the vitality of the soul. There is a point of divergence that is readily available for you, but it requires you to change your relationship to I'm hearing this moment of awakening, and to see destabilization as a catalyst for what could become your biggest transformation. So yeah, this is about system and medicines, right? Which represents that there is something that feels like it could be mechanical, in the way where, like moving through this existence or moving through this construct feels like it's kind of left you on autopilot, where some things become normal to your everyday movements that doesn't feel natural for the soul. It feels like you've had to kind of reduce yourself or dim your light in some way, and you're yearning for embodying your passion. You're yearning for maybe stepping into an institution that nourishes the soul, basically opting out of a system that feels like it suppresses you and has been siphoning your life force in some way. So what I was seeing is that this is the moment of gestation before the leap. There could be a leap of faith that you're going to have to take in some aspect of your life, but being in the dark room while others are applying is kind of symbolic of waiting or being in the void in some aspect, and you're not choosing what the crowd is doing, or you're not choosing what the majority is doing. There could be a different way that you're seeing your life during this time. Also, like the purpose that you've served in different chapters of your life. And I'm hearing the way that different chapters of your life has also served the soul's evolution. Realizing that lukewarm or half efforts are not going to align with really going full throttle into a very specific trajectory. And I feel like you know this, okay? I feel like you know this. So this is almost like a soul contract that you're crossing roads at right now, or that you're on a crossroads in regards to. It could be a part of you that has felt drained, okay? There could be a part of you that has felt like there is something new that's calling you. And this is a call that you're being invited to answer during this time. So we're going to try and see what this is for you real quick. I'm just going to pull some brief energies in regards to this. Staying in systems that drain you are no longer a viable option, okay? The world. So the world represents that you're being called to step out into the world completely differently. And you can see the guy that's cloaked, he kind of looks like a hermit essence, which is about lifting the human condition and looking at life through the lens of the soul. Okay, and that's basically representative of your moving through this existence completely differently. Okay, there could also be something online that you're being called to do. There is a support system that you have in regards to this too. So I'm going to go ahead and read the world for you. Let me go ahead and find it real quick. Where is the book? 29. Okay, so this talks about expansion, opening up. The man in this picture is looking out over the bay, and it represents expanding your vision. The world is your oyster. Okay, so get ready to gobble it up. In the modern age of technology, this could be specifically referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you. Okay, so it's time to consider broader options. The world is wide and there's much out there to consider. So this is knowing that your life expands into boundless horizons with unlimited powerful energy. A world of possibilities is open to me now. So this is literally about you moving through this world completely differently. Again, also relating to your journey on earth through the lens of love, right? Loving decisions that you can make for the soul's journey. It honestly feels like this message is for someone and career and purpose being aligned specifically. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some Kipper messages and just see real quick what the storyline is. Tell me about the world. What happens when this person steps into the world with this essence? Or moves through the world with this essence. High honor. This is a great value coming to you. High honor talks about you being valued by the people around you. Also, you having something of value to offer to the world. Okay, this is something that you're thinking about offering. It could be a service, it could be a product, it could just be you, right? There's something of value that this person is offering life on earth, right? Right, let's go and see. We also have mature man. So this is about maturing. Maturing is realizing that you are not the physical vessel, okay? But there's physical alignment that must happen, okay? Mature man is being able to align yourself in the physical with your non-physical essence, okay? And we have occupation. I'm telling you, this is about a job. So this is about actually aligning yourself in the physical with a job that you desire, okay? A job that the soul is calling you to step forth into, right? Risk. This could be some of you self-employment. Child is also going to be about a risk that you're taking in some way, right? And this person is seeing that the world is that oyster, unexpected income, something that you may not see, right? A reward for a risk that you take, okay? This is like a very specific message for someone. A very specific message. Child. This could also be a childhood dream, okay? We have community, so you will have a huge support network here with 39. Community is even online, you know? This is about networks, opportunities coming forth, and your public reputation kind of shifting as well, going through its own, I'm hearing seasonal changes. Distant horizons, you're definitely going to be going the distance. You could be connecting to people from over a body of water. This is you expanding on a global scale, okay? Expanding on a global scale of some kind. Distant horizons, I also see this as like a teacher of some kind, or publishing something. We have wealthy man, so that speaks for itself. This is going to lead to physical, okay, with a masculine, abundance, material rewards, okay, from some kind of hard work. Courthouse, a decision that must be made. I'm hearing in regards to what it is that you're giving to and the things that you no longer are, pathway, right? A new path that opens up with a lot of longevity within it. Need I say more? This is just feeling like a confirmation message for someone. Let's get one Cosmo Oracle message, and then I'm gonna love a Navy right there. Collapse. Collapse talks about the collapse or failure of a system. It talks about the same ways that you've been doing something is no longer going to be supported. Okay, especially if this is like fear holding you down in some way or holding you back. Okay, and this is where you hold yourself back. We'll go ahead and read collapse for you. It talks about things will either change or they will not, but the old ways of doing things are no longer a viable option. System failure. Collapse refers to the destruction or ruin of a system, a stoppage or significant decrease in the level of activity, right? So I feel like you're no longer doing something. It feels like you're literally calling your life force back from, you know, certain timelines that your energy has been scattered throughout, right? And this talks about energies unnecessary to complete the cycle have already been obtained and must now be rechanneled. So it feels like you have called your life force back from something, and you're now being called to rechannel that energy into something new, into something that feels more aligned with this version of yourself. But it talks about a culmination point, right? So this is not to say that it's negative, but rather the previous ways that the system has operated has now come to an end. The patterns may regroup and create a new way of working or not, but the collapse destroys the old and it will lead to new links being reborn. You can't predict if they'll be sustained instead, but new links will be formed, right? So this is an opportunity to collapse an old way of doing things. And honestly, that's going to be, I'm hearing, not just your way out, but it's your way in. Okay, it's not just your way out, but it's your way in. Let's take a look at the most likely outcome. We have Stratus Pause. Stratus Pause talks about a transition point, like a bus stop. It's only a temporary shift of timelines. That's what it feels like. It's a decision that allows you to shift into being in alignment and experiencing a continuum towards a complete different destined outcome for yourself. That's kind of reminding of like ontological and 𝓪𝓬𝓪𝓷𝓬, which is like saying that we can't change the train track that we have been transversing on. However, our decision can change the direction that the train takes, right? We can create a split of timelines, which is where those tracks begin to diverge into two different dimensional paths, each filled with an ecosystem full of experiences, opportunities, and resonant timelines based upon if we're making a decision of fear or we're making a decision for love of the soul's path, right? And we have relativity. This talks about your experience at the bus stop will change simply by the way that you perceive it, right? Your perception creates your reality. Stratus Pause basically says that there's a new bus that you're going to be taking. Relativity talks about your time at the bus stop can feel like it's something that you're feeling impatient in regards to. It's like, when is this bus coming? When is this opportunity coming? When are these results coming? Or it can be like, this bus is just around the corner and I'm going to enjoy the stillness before we are literally going to be riding some kind of new momentum in our life, right? We're literally going to be riding some kind of new wave of change. I'm going to take this brief moment in between the seasons to have a sacred recalibration internally before our life begins to reconfigure itself to correspond with the internal decision making that we've gone through, right? Our whole life is about to shift trajectories. If you've been putting in momentum towards, a very specific thing for a long time and you're now calling your life force back, that energy is going to be rechanneled, right? This is saying that there's new momentum that's going to be formed. There's new action that you're going to be taking towards something that I'm hearing is going to be building a new timeline and building a new wave of change. But that's the energy that's coming through. There's new momentum that's coming forth. Yeah. And it's being supported by your physical action. Your physical action is the thing that grounds a spark into reality. So, yeah, that's the energy that's coming through. I feel like this is just honestly going to be a confirmation readings and I had to get out. So, I'm going to love and leave you right there. You can risk staying in dark rooms where your vitality is muted, or you can allow yourself to really shine. And there's a leap that's needed where you'll either step into your true creator archetype that's embodying its full expression, is a part of you that chooses to do this even in the presence of fear. And that means that you've become greater than your mind and that emotion. And you become greater than your current circumstances. Or there's a version of yourself that plays it small and settles. So, if you're already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you around. This is like a very specific message for someone today. Personal reading details are also down below if you guys want to join the waiting list for October. And if you're not already aware, we have a discount code for Auto Spirit bracelets down below. There's a small family-owned business that handcraft these beautiful AA grade gemstones you can individually select and layer and stack. Or you can choose to look at the zodiac packs, and there's like a variety of options that you're able to choose from as well. There's chakra collections as well. But I'm going to love and leave you right there. Until next time, bye.